epic special effects, memorable one-liners. We're going to take you back to the blockbuster video days when Arnold Schwarzenegger dominated the action movie genre.
Yeah, we're talking about none other than Terminator 2. So you guys are going to want to stick around, hear what we have to say.
All right, let's dive in. Sean Marcus, explain the movie.
Let me get into my movie voice. In Terminator 2, Judgment Day, a more advanced and benevolent Terminator is sent back in time to protect John Connor from a new shape-shifting version of the Terminator, the T-1000. The T-1000 was also sent back in time to eliminate John as he grows up to become a future resistance leader. His mother, Sarah, has been locked up in a mental institution as authorities dismiss her warnings of impending nuclear devastation. Together, the two of them, with the help of the T-800, must prevent the creation of an AI world network that will lead to humanity's downfall.
Woo! Man, I just finished watching Terminator 2 today. I mean, I've seen it a ton of times when I was a kid.
So many times.
I probably didn't need to rewatch it for this, but it was just so fun to get back into it and just, man, it still holds up and is better than a lot of movies today on storytelling, like visuals and character development and all that.
I gotta say, just the movie in general is basically perfection. And I don't say that about a lot of movies, except for maybe Shawshank and The Goonies. Not even Heat, because like I said in our Heat episode, there was a couple things that I was like, they could have fixed. Anyways, but like the opening scene is epic. The introduction back to the T-800 of the bar scene, that's just hilarious.
Yeah. The
soundtrack, I mean, it's got one of the best movie songs of all time. And the ending, like everything about this movie is great. Special effects, mind-blowing.
Yeah. There's just special effect after special effect. The T-1000 has so many different things happening to him, and you can't ever guess what he's going to do next. But like you mentioned with the opening scene, it's in the future. It's a playground, so it just hits like, man, like there was children here at one time. You just watch a Terminator or a T-800, you just crush a skull as he walks by. And then, there's just war going on.
Now, did you see the original Terminator before Terminator 2? Or were you like me? I saw T2 and then watched Terminator, and I was kind of like, I was kind of let down.
I don't know, because I was a kid when I watched both of them, so I can't really remember which one I watched first, but I know I watched both of them a ton of times. So I even had a bunch of the toys and stuff, because I don't know if they still do this, but they used to have all the rated R movies that had toys and stuff with it, and I used to have those.
Yeah, I was I in 8th grade or like 9th grade? It was either middle school or high school, and the movie came out in the theater, and we were just like, holy crap.
Man.
Just nuts. Well, since you've watched it so many times, you must be pretty well versed in
you gonna test me right
T2 trivia. So I'm going to throw a little 2 truths and 1 lie. But you know what? I've already done this video. It's already out there. So I'm going to add another truth. So now today it's 3 truths and 1 lie. All right. Answer in the comments below to the one you think is the lie. Number 1, Linda Hamilton has a twin sister that they used for stunt doubles. Terminator 2 is the first sequel to win an Oscar. Number 3, there was no need for special audio sound effects because they recorded everything live. Number 4, the T-1000 was actually supposed to be in the original movie, and they were going to use claymation for it, but they scrapped it. But answer below what you think it is. After the credits come back, we'll give you the answer.
So before we get into like our favorite moments and stuff, I just want to acknowledge Terminator 2 is like renowned as the best Terminator.
Yeah.
But
no doubt.
And it's a sequel, so it's like crazy that a sequel came out and like surpassed the original. That's like super rare. But another rare thing about it though is they took the same character. They took Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was a villain in the very first one, and they flipped him and turned him into a good guy, and everybody accepted it and loved it. They
flipped that script,
and it worked so well. And it's like, man. So not only did they make a sequel that's better than the original, they also changed his character completely, pretty much. And the T-1000 is an excellent like villain or bad guy for him to go against. Like I I don't know. It's just perfection, man.
The T-1000 is the best Terminator. Of all the other ones, you can't top them. You can't top them.
They tried so many different iterations with the sequels, like T3, where it was a mix between a T800 and T1000, which is just like, oh, what's the point? And then they put a heart in one of them eventually. And
was T3 the female one?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah. I thought that Terminator 2, you know how they show the whole war in the beginning? I think Terminator 3 should have just jumped straight into the war. Just jumped to the future. Yeah. I was kind of disappointed that they didn't do that with T3.
Maybe we should talk to James Cameron, have him redo T3.
Just pretend nothing else happened?
Yeah, let's just skip ahead. Yeah, I agree with you there. Let me ask you this, because, you know, we're talking about all the different Terminators. Even though the T-1000 is bad, who are you kind of rooting for? Of course, you want John Connor to escape and it's a good guy to win, but like at the same time, you're like, oh, that T-1000 is one bad mother.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm always still rooting for Arnold Schwarzenegger in general, and I feel like I was almost rooting for him in the first one because he's just such a big presence and it's just such a cool character. Like you said, the T-1000 is probably the best Terminator out of them all. He can like shapeshift into anybody that he comes in contact with. He can make blades into his arms, which he did multiple times, and fingers into the eyeball of the one security guy.
I mean, you're watching this movie, you're like, how the hell are you going to stop this force
from
coming at you? And you're just like, how is this movie going to end? And then obviously at the end, you're like, oh, that's good.
Yeah, and you got epic scenes like him chasing him into the elevator and then puts his blades in and then peels it open and he's just chasing the car. Blop, 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 blop. Man, it's just nonstop craziness.
Well, getting into that is leading into my favorite scene.
Oh, yeah?
Through the whole movie, the scene where the T-1000 walks up to those metal bars in the jail cell and just like, wow. I remember just seeing that like, what? Mm-hmm. No, like that's insane. Like even though I had seen like the Abyss, the intro to like that like morph shifting, shape shifting technology that they had CGI, that scene just like boom blew me away. Even though you'd seen the gunshots and all that before that, that scene was the best. What was yours?
My favorite scene has to be just like when John Connor's on the motorcycle down the LA River, just bam, and he got the big old semi chasing him. Semi goes flying off the bridge top and then boom, and then he's just getting chased down. Arnold's on the motorcycle coming through, just like blasting down fences and does that big epic jump down there, squeezes by the semi. It's such a crazy scene. The semi's roof gets ripped off from
it's still making my heart race just like hearing it. Like
and just before John Connor loses it, Arnold picks him up and throws him on his own bike and stuff. It's like, man, they just don't make movies like that anymore where I don't know. But yeah, that's got to be my favorite scene because when I was a kid, I had a little Honda 50 and I just ride it around in our front and backyard. And me and my buddy are always sitting there pretending like we can't get that thing started. We're kickstarting the thing and then you get it going. You're just like, just bombing through the yard and stuff like that's, I was just always recreating that scene anytime I was on my little Honda 50 with my buddy. Like,
and did you guys steal a semi truck?
I mean, we should have. No, I mean, we were super little.
Now thinking about it.
It's like first grade stuff, man.
Yeah. Okay. Two epic scenes. I mean, there's so many good scenes in this movie. It's hard to pick, but yeah, I feel like those two are hands down, I think probably the coolest.
Yeah. There's so many other ones like the hallway showdown where he's got the shotgun in the rose thing and just pops it out and whatnot.
Yeah. So we've been spewing nothing but goodness about this movie this entire time. There's got to have been something that bugged you.
There's two things. I don't know if it really bothered me enough, but We'll go back to even my favorite scene. Arnold rides the motorcycle off the edge, and then you can clearly see that it's a stunt guy like on there. But the most noticeable one, that one wasn't as noticeable. It's right after that when he squeezes like by that semi. When he comes out, he's clearly not Arnold. He's a little bit thinner, and his skin's darker than Arnold. And I was like, nah, that's not even him. And then there's one other thing that was just, it didn't bother me. It's just funny. Actually, it's kind of around your favorite scene when after he gets through the elevator and he's chasing him down.
I think I know what you're getting at.
He has the hook hand things and he gets hooks onto the back of the car. He's getting drug across, and it's obviously just a rag doll just hanging there going getting drug across. But that whole scene right after that, like that's just a little funny thing, is super epic too, man. That'd be so scary. He's got those things just like it was exciting. But those are the two little things that I noticed.
Well, I often wondered about that scene. Like, what if they would have kept that one little piece of him? Would he be able to perform as normal, or would he be like missing? Like,
does he
is it going to be just shorter or like what? Like,
he just forms. He's just got a dent in his head.
Because they threw it and then he went and like, wow.
I was
melted back together.
They threw it, but also like, can he control both of those parts if they're not connected to him? So,
interesting. That's a good thought.
I mean, we hadn't seen him actually do anything like that.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
So my part that it didn't really like bug me, but even as a kid, I would pick up on film flubs. And there's a scene where Schwarzenegger gets punched in the face and his glasses are like all crooked. And then the very next split second, they're like this.
I was
like, wait a minute. That's not right.
I've never noticed that at all, man.
Yeah. Those little things in continuity, just inconsistency in continuity. I think that's where you can't, where you pee.
Incontinence. Continuity.
Yes. Continuity.
One of the crazy things is like, I have a fun fact, but I'll lead into it a little bit, is through this entire movie, there's a lot of deaths happening, a lot of people getting injured and stuff. But the fun fact of it all, it's that the T-800, so Arnold's Terminator, doesn't kill a single person in the entire movie. All the deaths have come from the T-1000, and that's because there's multiple like reasons why, but in the movie, John Connor tells him not to kill anybody.
You can thank John Connor for that if you survived.
And I think it was something, there was a lot of hate around like action heroes killing people at the time, so they tamed it back. I think even Bruce Willis in some other movies like tamed back and didn't kill people in it for a while. But then they said, screw it later. We're getting back to killing.
We're bringing it back. Yeah, I know. It's a different take to see T-800 sparing lives. You can't just go around killing people.
He'll live after he blasts them in the legs. But with all that, like, you don't even notice. Watching the entire movie, there's so much action going on. You just assume he's killing people, but he's not.
Yeah.
Even with the most epic minigun scene ever, doesn't kill a single person, but it's so exciting. He's just standing in that window, just mowing down the cop cars.
Well, so is it more epic though than the gun scene in Predator? In the jungle?
I don't know. They're pretty comparable, I think. They both don't hit anything.
Was a stormtrooper shooting that gun?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That did pop into my head, though. I was like, yeah, it's like the minigun in Predator is pretty epic, too. But I don't know, man. It's such a long scene of him just mowing down cop cars and stuff. And you don't think once about it. Like, he's not killing anybody in that whole scene and whatnot. He's just disabling everything around him, so it's not an issue. Man, John Connor's kind of a dick. I don't even know if we're going to keep this in here, but I just need to talk about it.
Okay, let's talk about it. Tell me why John Connor's a dick.
You got him with T-800, and he's holding him, saying basically, no, I'm like, we can't go here. I got to protect you. And he's screaming like, this guy won't let go of me. And you got the two guys off, like just messing with their car, hanging out by their car. And then he says, let me go. And he drops him. Okay, so those guys come over because they hear a kid screaming with this, with this big guy over there.
Yeah.
And then he's like, basically like, eat shit, dickwad, or whatever he says. I'm like, these dudes were just here to help you. He almost gets one of them killed. Like, the Terminator almost shoots the dude in the face for trying to help a kid out. Like,
yeah, that
asshole.
That is a pretty dick move.
Like,
but is it just because he's a
help.
teenager and they're like, you know what? Teenagers are dicks.
Maybe he's an asshole because his life is just so jacked up. It's got to be such a weird experience to be a child and your father has died before you've even seen him, but you're also older than your father because your father hasn't even been born yet.
Yeah, that would mess with you.
Right? So that's got to be such a weird thing because then you got to go wait all these years until you become a resistance leader and then you finally meet your dad and then you're like, hey, Kyle, I know you're my dad. I need you to go back to the past. You need to save my mom, but you also need to bang my mom. Because if you don't bang my mom, I can't send you back again to do all this over. So but you're going to die.
I mean, who in the history of time has told someone to go back to bang their mom?
Yeah, but that probably make you an asshole in your life because you'd be so confused. My dad's dead, but he's not born yet.
Yeah, and I kind of created myself by telling him to go bang my mom. Yeah, that would mess with your head. It's messing with my head. It's not
like Back to the Future where you go back and then you like are tempted to bang your own mom.
Yeah. Wait.
In Back to the Future, Marty McFly goes back. And
I wouldn't say he was tempted. Do we need to have a talk here?
I feel like there was temptation there.
Do we need to bring up what? His mom
was coming on really strong.
Do we need to define Oedipus complex here?
I already know about all the Freud stuff.
Okay.
I learned it from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Austin, tell me about your mother. So, I believe we should do a rating for this, our totally obscure rating. And I think you've got one for us.
I do. On a scale of hasta la vista, baby, to I'll be back, where are you rating this movie?
It's simple. I'll be back. It's way past that even. I mean, it's like, I'll be back.
Arnold never lied.
I'll be my baby back.
Oh no, now you're going to add some ribs into this?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to put this in a different position. I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. Because I'm going to keep revisiting this and I need to be all suited up. So that's it for this episode. Let us know what you think about Terminator 2 or which one's your favorite in the whole franchise. If you say anything beyond Terminator 2, you're wrong. But
we'll allow it. But you're wrong.
Allow it. Until next time. Peace.
All right, thanks for sticking around. The answer to the 3 truths, 1 lie is that they did record Foley and sound effects and all that after in post-production because, I mean, there's just so much stuff going on that you can't record all that stuff live. It's impossible.